So, what did you want to talk to me about today?
I am very upset about what you guys are talking about in class. My son came home the other day and told me that you guys were talking about death and divorce, and I am not okay with this being taught in the classroom. I just feel like this should be something that's only discussed at home and with by the parents or in the church, and I just don't know why you're even teaching it.
So, you don't feel that I should be discussing these more controversial topics in class? You don't like the book that we're reading?
No, not at all. I was very upset when my son came home and was talking about death and divorce, and I didn't know how he knew all this stuff because we really haven't sat down to talk about it as a family, and I'm just very upset and I want to know why it's being taught.
Well, I chose this book because I felt that the core subject matter, not the divorce and the death, really related to what we have been talking about in class and the lessons that I have prepared in the other subjects. I felt like it tied in very well. I also think the vocabulary used in this book is really great to get them thinking about larger words. It definitely expands their vocabulary as well as it's going to boost those English scores on these standardized tests that they're just starting to take now. And I just feel like this book is something that is really great for the classroom.
But you didn't tell any of the parents that you were going to talk about this, and I just feel like I would have liked to know because I still don't feel like it should be taught in the classroom.
So you feel like you should be talking about this at home with your son, not me personally reading a book to his class.
Yes.
How can we fix this? I would love for you to be on board with this book. I feel like it's a really great way to talk about these unavoidable subjects. Lots of kids have different family types, and I feel that having them hear about them in a book about divorce really gives them a better perspective and allows them to see how every family is different. And death is something that it's unavoidable. Everyone has to die at some time. I think that it helps prepare them for real life, whether it's a pet dying or, a great aunt, something like that. I feel like this book is preparing them for these real life situations. What do you think about that?
I guess I can see that there is divorce and there is death, but I still don't know if they're. I feel like he's too young to be learning about this.
Mm-hmm.
Is the other class learning about this as well? Because if they're not, I would like to transfer him to that class.
This is a book that I personally chose, but it is approved by our school board, as is every book that the third grade class is currently reading. Each teacher is reading a different book, but we have found a way to relate it to the other subject matter in our class. So no, not everyone is reading this book. Does that make you uncomfortable that I chose this book?
Yes, I would have liked to known that you were going to choose this book, and the I just feel like I was very off guard when he came home and knew all these things on these issues when I hadn't sat down to talk to him about it, and I just felt very uncomfortable about that.
Are you considering transferring him to another class then? Is that what's going through your head right now?
Yes, that was my initial thought on coming here that he would be transferred to the other class where they aren't talking about these things. I guess I just, is there kids in the class that have families that are split up or death going on that maybe this was the subject brought up?
We just had a little boy whose dad died, and we do have a few single parents in this class. That wasn't necessarily the reason I chose the book, but I feel like it is a good way to prepare them for these situations later on in the future, whether it happens to them or someone they're close with, just so they're educated on these different topics. I would really love for your son to stay in my class. I think he's a joy to have. He's really currently enjoying this book a lot. He's very excited when I get to read this book to the class. I don't know if he's mentioned that or not. I definitely understand why this is a controversial topic for you, but he is really enjoying the book.
Yeah, he's come home and talked a lot about it. I guess I didn't know that someone's father had died, and I can understand how this would be an important book to read to the students for them to understand that. And I get that. I guess I was just more upset with how off guard I was taken by when he came home and was talking about all this stuff, and I'd never talked to him about it before.
I completely understand why you would be upset about the divorce and the death topics in this book. Next time, let's look at our options. You could transfer your son to the class, to another class, but I really enjoy having him in our class, and he has a lot of friends here, and I wouldn't really want to take him away from the friendships that he's built this past year. We could pull him out of the class when we do have this teacher read to the student time, and I could have him independent read with another teacher, but I don't feel like he would get as much out of that book. Sometimes it's really nice to have the students hear the teacher read to them so they can just relax their brains, and I just think the topics that are discussed in this book, even not just the divorce and the death, but the core subject matter is really such a great thing for them to hear. In the future, I could always, if there are going to be some controversial topics discussed in this
Mhm.
book, I could always send you the title of the book so you can pre read it and be prepared for those conversation topics. What would you be interested in doing?
Originally when I came in, I thought I wanted to transfer him, but I see that you're right. He really is enjoying this because he's coming home and talking about it a lot, and I don't want him to lose the friends that he's made. I'm not sure that I want him pulled out as much as I maybe don't agree with it being taught here in school, because I feel like if he is pulled out, he is missing out on some of his education, and I would like him to get to learn as much as he can. Um, I would be, I feel like that would be a great idea for you to send home what your topics are going to be so that I'm aware of it before he comes home and just starts talking about it. That would make me feel more comfortable. Yeah.
I can definitely do that, and I really understand your viewpoint as to why you would be uncomfortable with these topics being discussed in the classroom. I can definitely send you a list of the books that I'm considering and like let you know ahead of time what we will be reading so you can prepare yourself. I know little kids ask the craziest questions, so I'm glad we came to a consensus that you don't want him to be pulled out of the classroom or to transfer. He's really enjoying this book, and I would want him to lose his friends. I'm glad we were able to come to a compromise.
Yes, thank you for talking to me about this.
Thank you.